And welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. So, how should I explain this without going into full detail? Beato Ricci overheard the servants, especially Genji, when it comes to the epitaph. And she thought that one of the hint for the first few lines of the epitaph that involves the sweet fish in the river, to where you can find the answer within Taiwan, and in which leads to the because I was like, wait a minute, I did not know the answer behind all of this that involves the Sweetfish River. Well, it's not really the river, but it's, but the location of it. But I think this is the second time trying to re-record this because I was not a big fan of looking back at it, how it turned out. So, but it involves the bit of a word game there. So let's continue. I almost gave up then. However, there was no doubt that I had the key in my hand. So I decided to travel to the Golden Land in accordance with the epitaph.
第一の晩に鍵の選びし6人を生贄に捧げよ。
この一文を見てわかることは、鍵とはすなわち6つの何かを示せるということだ。その時点で錠前に指す言葉通りの鍵ではないことが推理可能だ。
6つの何か。はい。6つの何か。私も頭が固い人間でしたから。とにかく6に関わる何かがないかと本を読み漁りました。6キリガンという鍵のありかは言葉遊びによって隠されていました。ならばきっとこの6もまた言葉遊びに関わるに違いない。6探しました。6を。
Searching for 6, because, part of the first Twilight.
このキリガンという文字が6つに分解できるとか。
いい推理だ。しかしこの3つの漢字といくらにらめっこしても答えは出ない。そもそもキリガンなんて読み方自体日本語読みだ。
では現地では何と。チーリーアンと発音します。
With Chilean. See, at first I thought it would be Quillian.
それは英語だと6文字。6文字。じゃあやはりこれは言葉遊び。
第一の晩に鍵の選びし6文字を生贄に捧げようってわけだ。
なるほど。
Talking about it like this, it sounds like a line of reasoning that can be reached in a second. However, it took a long time before I reached this spot on my own. A dizzying number of nights passed from the time Genji uttered that single word to the time I got this far.
では、この6文字を生贄に捧げるとは一体どういう意味でしょう。
続く第2の晩以降は残されし者で話が進んでいく。何かの文字列から鍵の6文字を間引き、残った文字でどうこうしろと言っていることが推理できる。
しかし 何から6文字を間引くのか、それにも長く悩みました。ここからはもはや新しい謎。誰の助けもなく、今度こそ自分の力だけで解かねばなりませんでした。
過去のゲームの中で確かローザおばさんが第一の番について何か仮説を立てていたような気がします。
She did. It was some.
第10の番の黄金の里に注目した推理だな。碑文の中には他に4度も黄金鏡という単語が登場するのに、なぜかこれ一つだけが黄金の里と記されている。
It was something to do with the 4 treasures. The
な
treasures
ぜ
of the
第
golem.
10の番だけ黄金の里なのか。これに気づくのにも、そしてどうしてなのかに気づくのにも、これまた長い時間をかけました。
ローザの推理はこうだった。黄金の里を京と読み、京都の京と読み解いた。そして懐かしき故郷から京都まで
Okay, I
遠
was
くか
making.
かる旅路を10分の1した時点で
I was about
何
to.
か秘密があると疑った。
I was about to say. It said treasure, so I was like, oh, somewhere in the epitaph says it's a 4. So.
いい推理だったが惜しかった。今日は京都以外にも読み解けたんだ。
今日を京都以外で読み解く。
難しく考えるな。そのままだ。
Well, there can be different meanings to it when it comes to the definition of power. But if anything, power is also a mathematical definition too. So
今日です。いえ、今日ではなく K と読みましょうか。
in which we have quadra, you know, quad.
数字の単位です。1、10、100、1000、万、億、兆 K。
数字の単位。
私の場合はこの六軒島にいるという地の利がありましたから、 K を思い当たるヒントはあったのです。私の場合は先に答えが分かってから逆に問題の意味が分かったという感じでした。
ややこしいことを言うとリオンが混乱する。
Leon's gonna get a headache. Leon was not prepared for an educational segment of this.
話を戻そう。第10の番に一景に至るならば、第1の番はいくつになる？
一景の10分の1ですから、船長。
正解だ。
Simple as is.
船長から鍵の選びし6文字を間引くんだ。
チーリーアンが英語である以上、船長も英語であろうとはすぐに察しました。
船長は英語ではクワドリリオン。第5のゲームでのバトラの推理通り11文字だ。いや、これはあんたの推理だったか。
Ron Castle doesn't. She just sits there and didn't say anything. Just giggles.
くしくもこのスペルも冒頭は9。6文字の鍵の冒頭も9。きっとこれに違いないと直感しました。
Quillion, Quadrillion. So a 6. 11 minus 6, and that makes a 5. Q, U. Huh. Interesting. So it's just like when you put. So if we have the same letters with each other, then those 6 letters are gonna be subtracted from the word quadrillion. Leon took a notepad from a pocket and spelled out quadrillion and quillion. The 2 words even looked similar at a glance. And then once you look at that.
確かにクワドリリオンの中には鍵が示す6文字が確かに含まれています。じゃあこの6文字を消すと
That's a good question. We're left, or Quillian, or should I say, Chilian. One, two. We're left with 5 meaningless letters. However, the important thing is the number 5. After all, in the next part of the epitaph, the word kill appears 5 times, and then on the 9th twilight, none shall be left alive. In other words, there should be 5 letters left. Wait, what? QA? That gets removed? That's... Wait a minute. Oh, I see. I see how this goes. It's just removing the specific letters to this. That's why, in other words, there should be 5 letters left.
しかもこの5文字は第5のゲームでのバトラさんの推理通り寄り添っている文字があります。 D と R です。
Yep, because according to the second Twilight, tear apart the 2 that are close to each other, which is the 2 letters D and R.
これが寄り添いし2人に違いない。
See, I thought when it comes to the second Twilight, it tear apart the lovers, right? And the first 6 sacrifices are just like, you know, it's just random when it comes to the game, right? But no. It's a freaking letter game of the sort, according to this episode.
ここまで来ればもはや謎はほとんど解けたも同然。
It all adds up.
逆に言えば碑文だけで解ける謎はここまでだ。この後言葉遊びを続けても答えはわかるかもしれないが仕掛けは開かない。
そうです。ここまでが分かればあとはそれに従いえぐりて殺すのみです。
The gout. But how do they now? How would they now? How does this add up to the gouge and kill part after the method, after the logic of math and word games?
お前はその場所の心当たりの方が先だったわけだな。
はい。もともと碑文が現れるより以前からそこに黄金が隠されているのではないかと疑われていました。そしてそこに謎めいた一文があればきっと何か秘密が隠されているに違いないと思うのは当然のこと。
その場所とは
黄金鏡の入り口を開ける仕掛けの場所だ。勘のいいやつなら鍵の選び師6人を生贄に捧げる第1の番がどこのことかもう察してるはずだ。
The Vite. Oh, you mean to tell me this?
え
You mean to tell me there's a device to this?
それは船長のことであって場所のことではないのでは。
船長と記された場所だ。お前は知ってるはずだが。それともクソ真面目に金蔵の言いつけを守り近寄らなかったから知らないというのか。
It would be weird that Kinzo, gave him like the strict rules of like preventing Leon from, solving the puzzle. And it ends just like that. Yeah, this is where I last picked off. I mean, hopefully I don't have to deal with that fucking shit. The day the witch revived.
第9章魔女の蘇る日。
How long was that last episode? Like the journey to the Golden Land part was like, well, the last part or two was like really short. So Quadrillion. There's only one place you'll find that word on Rokinjima. Gold butterflies flitted from shadow to shadow, dodging raindrops.
わらわの記憶が間違っていなければ確かここで見た覚えがある。
And now it seems we are at the chapel. It was the chapel, that mysterious building, one of the oldest on Rokinjima, which had been built at the same time as the mansion. It was called the chapel, but not once had Kinzo used it for worship, and the members of the family had never been allowed inside. It sounds like you're just putting, it's like you're hiding some secrets behind the chapel. I'm surprised that you don't really use a chapel as like some sort of like the Rokinjima church or the Ushiromiya church. Yeah. There were strict orders that none approach it without reason, and its purpose has always been a mystery. However, all of these mysteries got boring after several decades. At some point, everyone forgot the chapel even existed, and that splendid building passed from the thoughts of Rokinjima's residents. Of course, this had been true for Beato as well. Beato, who hated boredom, who had no desire to approach places that humans never went. Her last memory was of the time she went in there to taunt Shannon as she tried to clean.
間違いない。あれであるな。クワドリリオン。
Quadrillion. Beato looked up above the door of the chapel. There was a relief displayed over an arc. Now that's interesting. So we never seen this screen, this bit of a screenshot before. English words were written there.
お前は1000兆分の1の確率でしか祝福されない。
Quadrillion to 1. That's crazy. So, you mean 1 out of quadrillion? That sounds like a very slim.
あの謎を解けるものが現れる確率をそなたは1000兆という名の奇跡に見立てたのか。
I mean, what they all say, unless you are blessed by a miracle. This chapel was built long ago. If there is a device like the one I imagined, Kinzo must have prepared that epitaph riddle many decades ago. He must have been planning to use it as a ceremony for choosing a fitting successor all that time. However, that ceremony is now a ceremony to open the door to the Golden Land and to my resurrection. When I snapped my fingers, the ground bulged and several snake-like dead trees sprouted up. Wait, they twisted around each other to form a ladder, which leaned itself against the door.
わらわの想像通りならばあのレリーフが仕掛けだ。
I slowly climbed the ladder. Because of the size of the door, the relief was very high up. This close-up, it looks much bigger than it did from the ground.
そういえば礼拝堂を大掃除するとき、あの源氏がわざわざこのレリーフだけは自らの手で磨いていたな。その程度のこと、なぜ若い使用人に任せぬのかと不思議に思っていたものだが。
I thought it strange, but nothing more. The master treasured this relief, so the head servant cared for it himself. I always accepted that excuse. But now I understand. There must be something in this relief. And Genji polished it himself to make sure that no one else accidentally found out.
このクワドリリオンから鍵の選びし6文字を生贄に捧げるということか。
Quadrillion. The tips of my fingers touched the cube. My fingertips were soon covered with dust. However, I quickly realized that there was something strange about it.
この文字、まさか。いや、そうでなくてはならん。でなくては生贄に捧げられぬからな。
Beato grabbed the letter Q, and after lightly playing around with it in various ways, she pulled it out with a slight clunk. You mean to tell me the letters are actually removable? That's crazy.
やはりな。
She's like, man, I went through all that time just to solve this shit. Here's the Q I pulled out, and this part's a wedge. No, it's a key. A key was attached to the back of the cube, quote unquote, and had been stuck into a keyhole in the relief.
そういうことか。ならば、あとはわかるぞ。よしよし、この Q の鍵は違う。お前は外れだ。
Beato carelessly tossed the Q key aside. This was the first sacrifice. She kept on pulling out the keys for the 6 letters representing the key, quote unquote.
A も生贄であるな。そして I も2つ生贄だ。最後の N も生贄か。
I mean, seems obvious. Oh, RG, I wonder how you got it.
L は1文字を生贄であるが、困ったぞ。L は2つあるではないか。
There were two L's. I didn't know which I should sacrifice. I tried pulling both out, but the keys were of different shapes. So, one is a right answer, and one is a wrong answer.
どうせ2通りしかない。
Hmm.
誤りだったらもう片方を試せばいいだけのこと。
Doesn't hurt to try. Unless messing up sets off a trap that blows up the island, of course. And then just imagine just imagine one fuck up. You blow up the entirety of the Rokunjima, and thus everyone had died. Oh shit. Fucking Kinzo, you fucking weird ass old man. Thinking it's a waste of time to sit here worrying, I decided on the rightmost L and pulled it out. 5 letters remained in the word.
これにて第1の番は終了だ。 続いて第2の番。
On to the second twilight. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close.
D と R が寄り添っているな。これを引き裂くとはいかに。抜けばよいのか。
I mean, I guess when they say tear them apart, I mean like destroy the two letters? But if I do, there will only be 3 letters left. By this point, I was able to make a good guess of what the gouge and kill lines meant.
えぐりて殺せはおそらく鍵をひねって回してから引き抜けという意味であるに違いない。
Is that what they meant by that?
となれば頭から足はおそらく左の文字鍵から右へ順にそれを行えという意味に違いあるまい。
That's interesting because when they say like gouge the specific thing and kill could mean like, you know, the specific ways to take out the letter. If that's the case, there must be 5 characters left on the board. In other words, tear apart doesn't mean kill.
それで引き裂けと考えた場合、この D と R、2字の間隔を空けよと読み取れるな。しかし、どうやる。またしてもやり方は2通りであるぞ。
Do I remove the D, quote unquote, and move it to the left? Do I remove the R, quote unquote, and move it to the right? After pondering this for some time, I realized that both choices were wrong.
違う。そうではないのだ。さっきの L から間違っていた。
Why do you say that? A short while ago, I removed the right of the 2 L's. Right of the 2 L's. However, if I had removed the left one, it would look like this. If you line it up this way, it's easy to see the next step. The R gets shifted to the right. Wow. This way, all of the letters are spread out evenly. Huh. Look at that. This must be it.
そして次がまた難題であるぞ。我が名をたたえよとな。
Praise thy name. It's already clear that this is a word game. Those who remain shall praise my noble name. Just what are the remaining 5 letters supposed to do? Probably change their order to form a word.
U D R L O。
What the? Are we supposed to like see if we can form a word with these 5 letters? Because this is
この5文字をどうにかすると何かの意味になるということか。
Praise my name.
ここまで来てわけのわからぬ謎を。この5文字でどう我が名とやらをたたえろというのか。
That man's name is Ushiromiya Kinzo. Is the U part of Ushiromiya? No, several letters don't match, and there aren't nearly enough letters to make Ushiromiya.
我が名とは金蔵を指すことだけは間違いない。ならばやはり U は後ろ宮を指すのか。イニシャルであるとか。ならば D R L O は何を意味する。金蔵も意味せん。R O でまさかロッ 見島を六軒島の主金蔵
And what? And here I thought this is some sort of a. Those 5 letters are part of an abbreviation to it. Even I'm having a stroke.
字数がまるで足らぬ
This riddle left me totally confused. However, there were only 5 letters left. There can't be too many possible combinations of those letters. I could use process of elimination. Thinking I'd play around with it, I pulled out the U. There were 4 letters left. D, R, L, and O. My idea that the U stood for Ushiromiya was like a heavenly oracle. When I removed the U, I thought of making a word with the remaining 4 letters. D, R, L, and O. Those 4 letters spun around my head, changing their orders, and lashed upon a single English word that would serve to praise Ginzo.
ロードだロード
Lord. I had absolutely no basis for it. How? Wait. So. Wow. That's, okay, well. So it's not just. You can't just. Lordu. Lordu. Oh, God. I had absolutely no basis for it. However, it was like a flash of inspiration. I quickly changed the letters around before that flash. Faded from my mind. Lordu. Oh my god.
R D
So, I don't know, man. But the way I say Lordu sounds stupid, but I do understand why they made it look like. I did understand how the word puzzle goes.
ロード U
Lord, oh, Lord Ushiromiya.
後ろ宮
I see.
後ろ宮卿どうか
Holy moly.
第4の番に頭をえぐりって
It was a key, so it wouldn't have turned if it was the wrong one. But it did turn. I managed to gouge it. I gouged the first letter, the L, with a click, and then pulled it out.
次第5の番
The fifth twilight
胸をえぐりて殺せ
gouged the chest and kill. Wait. Gouge the head? Oh. Wait, by the chest, you mean like pull the letter by the middle, which is like supposed to be the chest part? The O was gouged and pulled out. Oh, look, his O. Then the R. Next the D. And finally the U. Wow. Just look at that. Simple as that. When I turned the key of the U, I could feel a resistance as though some device had been activated. I waited for something to change, but nothing did. Is this some kind... However, I had felt something happen. A secret door must have opened up somewhere around here. Waiting around won't accomplish anything. I've probably done everything I can here. All the letters in Quadrillion have been removed.
第9の番に魔女はよみがえり誰も生き残れはしない
So this way, has the witch, have I revived? The 10th twilight, a journey's end. You shall obtain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. When I stepped down off the ladder and looked around, I immediately noticed a small change.
ライオンの像が。
At some point, the lion statue in front of the chapel had turned to face a different direction. Oh wow! The statue instead is it's not facing the one in front. It's now facing like sideways. So does this mean that the lion statue facing a different direction means it's going to point you to the answer, or whatever how you call it? How did that work? Did Kinzo plan up this extravagant device back when he first started building on this island? I walked up to the lion statue and stared at it. Other than the fact that it was pointing a different direction, nothing had changed. In that case, is the lion looking at something in particular now? I followed its line of sight and saw another lion statue. And that lion statue had also changed its direction.
なるほど。
Oh, wow.
ライオンの道案内に従えということか。金蔵め、凝った仕掛けを作りおる。
You know, even with the hair down, the face is still creepy. I wasn't complaining anymore. I felt a bit of I felt a bit of respect and awe at Kinzo for setting up such an intricate device and having it go undiscovered for all these years. There were lion statues standing like guardian deities at the entrance and the corners of the chapel. The direction they faced had changed, pointing around to the back of the chapel. There was something there. Oh shit.
ほう。
It was no longer a surprise. This was after the contraption with the letters, after being guided by the lions. So, when a gaping open secret passageway appeared, with stairs leading down to the darkness below, it wasn't surprising to me anymore.
これが黄金鏡への入り口だというのか。金蔵。
It's like we've... Oh boy.
見つけたんですか？
She's able to find it. What a shocker.
おじい様の黄金を。
はい。長い長い時間をかけてたどり着いた黄金鏡でした。
Ages and ages.
過去のゲームによるならば、そこには地下の貴賓室があり、そして10トンの黄金が。
はい。地下への武骨な階段を降りていくと、突き当たりには扉が。中はまさに貴賓室と呼ぶべき美しき内装でした。
見つけたのは黄金だけだったのか？
はい、その時は積み上げられた黄金に目がくらまぬわけもありませんでした。
Oh hey, this is the same background I was using in the World War II era at the time. But I'm curious when they were able to construct the VIP room.
これは本物なのか？
He's like, oh shit. I lightly touched the pile of gold with my finger. It was hard, cold. I must have imagined that it would crumble like a sandcastle if I touched it. Yeah, your finger's so powerful that your freaking mountain of gold bars is like turned into powder. Now, there could be no doubt. This certainly was a 10-ton pile of gold ingots. Gee, I want to hoard some gold bars. Considering the amount of gold I had just found, I figured I ought to be crying out in delight. I didn't really feel like laughing, but I thought it only good manners to do so in a situation like this. So I forced it out. Because of this, only a few feeble laughs slipped from my mouth. At that moment, even stronger than any delight, was a feeling as though I'd entered a place I wasn't supposed to be. I couldn't think of what I should do next, now that the epitaph's riddle had been completed. What to do? Then I heard approaching footsteps. It was coming from the stairway I had entered by. Someone was coming. Could it be Kinzo? If he finds out I've been in a place like this, will I get scolded harshly? I thought about hiding and forgetting this ever happened, but my legs wouldn't move. I kept standing there, stunned, in front of the pile of gold as the footsteps drew closer and closer. Wait, is this a trap? The door opened, and I saw who it was. It wasn't Kinzo. Wait, oh shit! It's Genji!
そなたは
自分の力だけでたどり着いたのか。
He asked the question so nonchalantly. Man, what a guy. Like Genji's, you know what? I don't care if Genji's an old servant. Genji is my homeboy.
うん
Well, yeah. And Genji's like, damn, you really went through all that trouble. For some time, Genji stared at Beato in silence as though he was calculating something. Then he slowly clapped his hands together. He did it again, over and over. It took quite a long time before I realized that he was applauding me.
親方様は碑文を最初に解いた者に黄金と家督のすべてを譲り渡すとおっしゃられた。
What? It's crazy.
そしてその人物がベアトリーチェであると信じた。
That's wild. You mean to tell me the freaking fantasy being gets the headship and the gold at the same time? That's what the fuck?
ベアトリーチェ私が
これは運命だ。
The fate has been
お前
sealed.
は今日を迎えるのが運命だったのだ。
I didn't really understand what Genji was saying. Surely the shock of seeing the gold still had me paralyzed.
こっちへ来なさい。
はい
Genji opened the closet. Inside was a torso wearing a beautiful dress made of black cloth, golden stitching. When I saw it, I understood immediately. It was the witch's dress. Oh, hey, it's the same dress that is used it. It's the same resemblance of the dress or or what I'm trying to say is it's the dress was seen in the painting. The black dress worn by the Beatrice in the portrait. In the portrait.
これに着替えなさい。
これは
I don't know. I always like Beatrice in a suit like outfit attire than the dress, but
かつて、お前が着ていたものだ。
I've never worn a dress like this. However, I understood what Genji meant. This dress was the one that Beatrice once wore, and the one who displays a miracle by solving the epitaph is Beatrice. By reaching this room, I succeeded the position of the real Beatrice, the one in the portrait. Why do I call myself Beatrice, though? Because the name of the Golden Witch, who rules over Rokenjima's night, is Beatrice. That's right. I wasn't the real Beatrice. I was a different witch, stealing the name of the witch from Kinzo's delusions. And now I have succeeded the real Beatrice. By solving the epitaph's riddle, my resurrection will be complete. I was the one who decided on that route. However, this really was a ceremony to resurrect Beatrice. In the past, I believed that I could create my own fate with my magic. How ironic that one could control magic at will would be guided by fate to this place. At that moment, I had no choice but to truly accept and believe in this word called fate.
これを着たら
Now, what happens if she puts on the dress?
親方様のところへ行く。支度をしなさい。
Oh god. This is gonna be weird. Bring the Fate, version Chiru.
ここで待て。
はい。
親方様。源氏でございます。
After Genji knocked, the sound of the study's door unlocking could be heard. After a single glance telling me to wait, Genji entered alone.
このような日が来るとは。運命とは本当に不思議なものです。
Kumasawa was with us too. I thought this dress, which didn't really suit me, would lead to a lot of jokes, but she didn't laugh at me at all. On the contrary, when she saw me, her expression had turned stern as though a long-awaited day had finally come. My heart raced. Supposedly, anyone should have been able to solve the epitaph. There shouldn't be anything strange about me solving it. Genji and the others kept wearing serious expressions, and that, along with everything else, made this feel like some sort of grand ceremony. Oh my goodness. You know what? We're approaching the 50-minute mark. I think it's right around the time that I can just stop it from here. But you know, what have we learned for your I thought the epitaph was something to do with the, you know, that correlates to the Rokenjima massacre. But no. It all turns into some sort of a a word puzzle. How we really play around with the word, you know, quadrillion. That's wild. So, with that said, next part, we will continue more of what happens when the 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 golden-haired girl meets with Kinzo. So, with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.